this webinar is on customer centricity. Before I go on further, let me give you a quick introduction about the organization, what we do, a little about myself, and of course, I will want to know in short about you all also who are already there on the call. So let's begin. So we are an 8-year-old organization, Salto di Fe. We are into management consulting, and we've been we've got over 100 clients by now across the cities of Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, and a couple of others. So these are areas which we work in, and we work across various industries, right from BFSI, FMCG, and manufacturing, and so on and so forth, including startups. So these are the segments we work in. So what differentiates us actually is that we believe in simplicity. That is our one of our core or unique advantages. And we are a complete believer in science-based approach. So we both, we apply qualitative and quantitative techniques to design solutions. And we, the management team of the organization, the leadership team has highly practical oriented because each of us carry about 15 to 20 years of experience. So we believe in practical and easy to implement solutions. We've got our partners, implementation partners, Sales Panda, who helps in sales automation, Max Sales First, which is a leading sales and service company, and of course, mobile experiential learning platforms. Okay. And our product suite, we have a proprietary research-based tool to improve talent retention. And then we have, a 360-degree feedback tool, Karma Notes for a quick and fun and easy way of giving feedback, to take out the pinch out of giving feedback or the pain out of giving feedback. Then we have programs on HR team effectiveness. We also do a lot of work with leadership. So top team effectiveness is some of the products is one of the products which is employed by a lot of companies working with us. And of course, how to create a high performance organization. About me, I've been a sales leader for most of my life. Out of my 23 years of work almost 20 years, a little more, I've been a sales leader in various organizations, right from telecom and BFSI, life insurance, retail financing, and last 2.5, almost 3 years was on the other side of the table as a head HR. So that gave me a completely different view of how HR looks at business, and that is the unique advantage I have of having worked both in the sales side and the HR side to understand businesses better from both the sides and not have one point of view. And some of the areas which are dear to me, and I have worked with various companies in the last 4 years of my consulting experience, right from enabling sales leadership, service excellence, org transformation, and mindset change. Okay, I've been a visiting faculty of some of the management institutes, and yes, I practice NVC quite regularly. That's what I believe in. Okay, so my request to all of you, if you can write one word of your role and your function from which you are there, your function and your role. If you can just put it on the chat.
I don't have more.
Sajane, can you put everyone on mute, please?
Open. Outside are dirty putta.
Management consulting, very interesting. Some more, I'm waiting for more because we've got 8 to 10 people who have mentioned. Okay, HR head, excellent. Head sales and marketing, wonderful. Customer success, extremely important from a centricity point of view. Okay, lovely. We have person from sales. Corporate sales and wellness. Excellent. Sales. Waiting for next 30 seconds to get some more inputs. Educational consultant. Wonderful. That's interesting. I was in the educational field in Z-Learn from both in business as well in HR. Yeah. Interesting. Recruitment consultant. Okay. HR. Okay, wonderful. That's great. That's very nice to have a wide, varied section of people from entrepreneurs to consultants to sales to HR and recruitment and everything. So that's wonderful. I think that's a great mix. So that'll give us different viewpoints and make our discussion richer and more useful and contributory for all of us. Okay, so our focus for today very clearly is customer centricity, as we will touch upon the topic because the time is about an hour. So you can't do a complete justice to the topic. You can't dive deep. So we're going to touch upon some of the areas as we go forward. So in customer centricity, we'll start with what is customer centricity, and I will seek your inputs and why today customer centricity is critical, why today it's even more critical than it was maybe 10 years ago, and lastly, how can we invigorate and reshape customer experience to become a more customer-centric organization and also a customer-centric individual. And we'll talk about both these parts because both these parts are important. Okay, so I pause and over to all of you. Need to get quick inputs. What is customer centricity? Okay, this word has been bandied around for quite some time, and the word customer centricity gained currency sometime in the 1990s, and since then it has kind of gained currency, increased, and been talked about. So looking forward to your understanding of customer centricity. Quickly on the chat, whatever you believe customer centricity means. Okay, behavior which is oriented to serve, very interesting. Talking behavior, very nice. Customer treats organization as a part. Oh, let me just read it. Okay. Customer treats organization as a part of his family. Trust and confidence, excellent. Focus on customer needs. Okay, fair. Okay, action and decisions to keep customers' agenda in mind. Sure. All decisions keeping the customer, good, fair point. Understanding customer expectations and building our strategy based on the same, absolutely. Customer delight, yes. Delightful buying and post-sales experience, interesting, of course. It's not just the sale, it's the post-sale also. Yes. Okay, wonderful. Yes, so these are, so all of that where customer is the center. Okay, so yeah, customer centricity by virtue of that phrase, where customer is the center, I agree. Fulfilling customer requirements, fair, absolutely. So all that what you all have covered and shared with me are parts of customer centricity, okay? I'm going to widen and help you, let us, come together on a definition of customer centricity, how customer centricity, after going through lots of articles and lots of practitioners and lots of companies who practice customer centricity, I would like to share with you what really, is defined currently with by the companies who really are at the cutting edge of customer centricity practices and organizations which are really customer centric. Okay, so it depends. Okay, so obviously it is putting the customer at the center by virtue of that expression. But let me share three pillars which actually define customer-centric organization. So customer-centric organizations are always creating customer value. Their focus is to create customer value, and that becomes a very, very strong, consistent pillar for them to work on. So they're always creating customer value in one way or the other. At every customer touch point, they're creating customer value. Second, really putting the customer first. Okay, not just focus. Focus means just you focus for a short period of time and you're back to the organization, product, and all the other focuses. Here, putting customer first each and every time. Some of you, one or two people also said that. Taking every decision with the customer in mind. I had that one input. That's very right. So putting customer first all the time in whatever decision you take, even when you're talking about organization strategy. So there will be an organization strategy and there will be a customer strategy. So that is the way customer-centric organizations approach. And the third pillar is nothing but most and longest lasting business value. Okay, we can't be a customer-centric organization and not be focused on longest lasting business value. So being customer-centric and having business value are not mutually exclusive. Okay, so if you are a consistent customer-centric organization, then you can create long-lasting business value for the organization, and we will discuss how. Okay, so these are the three pillars of customer centricity: creating customer value, putting customer first, not only focus but putting customers first every time, and creating long-lasting business value. Okay, so why is customer centricity required? So I'm going to ask you some more questions. So quickly, why is customer centricity? How does it help to be customer centric? Top of the mind. How will it help to be customer centric? Why is customer centricity required? To avoid risk. Interesting. That's where the money comes from. Good. I like that. That's interesting. Understanding customer expectation. Word of mouth publicity. Yes. So customers give you free word of mouth publicity to build loyalty. Yes, of course. Okay. Organization needs customers brand ambassador. Very nice. Very nice. Absolutely. Because customers are the very reason why companies exist. Excellent. Fabulous. Fabulous. Okay, that brings me, okay, I will share a very interesting definition also. Customer is most eccentric, okay, interesting. To avoid later disputes, okay, yeah, so if you're customer centric, focus on his need to avoid later, to make competition, okay, to maybe beat competition in the market, that's what the person meant, so that's how I read it. Or create a better competition in the market, that can also mean what the person said. Okay, lovely. So at this point, although we've gone a little ahead, I would like to share a beautiful definition of customer centricity, which I had in mind, which which I want to share with you, and it's by a management thinker called Drucker, very relevant even today, very renowned, Peter F. Drucker. He says, and he said that long ago in 1954 to be precise, he says that the customer is one who determines, okay, customer is one who determines what a business is, what it produces, and whether it will prosper. A very simple definition. So I'm just repeating it. It is what the customer who determines what a business is, okay, what really a business is, what it will do, okay, what it produces, and whether it will prosper. Very simply said, definition of customer centricity. Okay, so let's go ahead. Why is customer centricity required? And why only now? We'll talk about that. We can see and we know that organization control is dead. Long live the customer. So whatever remnants of control organizations had over the market, over the people, over how customers will behave is gone. Now, completely, solely the control of what a customer will do and how he will behave rests with the customer. Okay, so the control is now with the customer. That's why we have to be customer centric. And customers are becoming digital, all of you, and right to whatever level in terms of economic level, everybody today has a mobile phone. Okay, everybody in the country has one, and people are very digitally savvy, and the younger generation extremely so. Okay. Thirdly, there are increasing expectations all the time. The expectations are rising. If you as a company are not fulfilling expectations of your customers, somebody else will. And lastly, every person wants a consistent experience. If I go to a MACD, I want to have my veggie burger, that my veggie burger, if I have it today and I have it 1 year later, I should get the same consistent experience. Otherwise, I'll not go to MACD. I'll go to KFC or whatever, whichever one, right? So people are looking for consistent experiences. And lastly, okay, one second. What encompasses all this is the need to create value. Okay, all these four things finally come together to create value for the customer. So you take care of all the four things, but the final end objective is creating value for the customer. So customer centricity is creating value for the customer as he or she wants it. That is what is customer centricity. Okay. Now, we are customers. Each one of us are customers ourselves. We are consumers ourselves. Okay. And we know how we behave. So it's a changing game. Okay. And it's changing very fast, and it's changing every couple of weeks and couple of months. Okay. So if we want to play the game and if we want to stay ahead, we should know the rules. So we'll discuss some of the rules and some of the areas which, as an organization, as an individual, you have to really take care of. And for the new edition of the game, and why I'm saying new edition, because in my generation, okay, maybe when I started my work life somewhere in '91, in my generation, in every industry there were maximum 2 or 3 companies. So it was not a buyer's market; it was a seller's market. Today's world, almost in all segments, it's a buyer's market. So it's the customer who dictates what he wants to consume, where he wants to consume, he or she wants to, and how they want to consume. Okay, just to give you a quick example, some of the younger team members who are working with me, and to me it was a big shock. Okay, so for us, cable connection in my generation, maybe a generation after me, cable connection was something which is de rigueur. It is there in every house. There's a cable connection. But the younger team members who I work with, some of them, they share that they don't have a cable connection. I was shocked. Why? I mean, how do you watch news? Everything and everything is consumed on their phones. And if at all they want to see something on the TV, they connect their phone to the TV and watch. So they don't believe, they don't feel the need for a cable connection, right? Whereas my generation, and maybe 1 or 2 generations after that, cable connection was something which was very much there in the TV, right? So now the edition has changed, and you are the trend which was there in the US of releasing a season, 10, 12 episodes together, has now started happening in India also. So you no longer have a serial, you'll have a serial which has a season 1, multiple episodes released together. Okay, and I could never think of that. We used to keep waiting every week or every second day. If it's a weekly one, if it's 5 days, then we used to wait every day for the next episode very patiently. The patience is no longer there. Nobody wants to wait. So rules have changed, is what I wanted to share with you. So how well you as a person or the company is adapting to the new rules, and not only the new rules and the rules which are continually changing. How are you adapting? Okay. Why should you create value? Okay, there has to be a big reason. There has to be a very strong reason for creating value for the customers. Okay. I have got a different viewpoint, and I'm saying please treat your customers as business partners. Okay, they are not just your customers whom you have to fulfill their needs and meet their expectations. but they are far more active. Okay, they are not passive, they're far more active. Let me share some things with you. Okay, one, they are your investors. Now, investor is something, when I say the word investor, what comes to your mind is investor is like, for a startup, it's an angel investor or a private equity fund. Okay, and for large corporations, it's financial institutions which give them large loans. Those all are in some ways are investing in the business, okay, or somebody invests in takes a large stake. The way in Flipkart we had Walmart take a stake, okay, and we just had the latest one where Facebook took a 9.99% stake in Geo. Okay, so these are called investors. I am going and changing or adding a definition of investors. Your customers are your investors. Why are they your investors? Because they are the ones who are consistently investing in your product or service. Okay, so that is why you need to create value. The moment you stop creating value for your customer, he or she will not take a second to go to your competition. So therefore, the customers are more like your investors, consistently, loyally putting money in your product and services because you're satisfying their needs. So create value, continue to create value. So that's how I term them as investors. That's why they are also your business partners. Your marketing representatives, of course, right? When customers are happy, they'll make sure that they put their experience on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Okay, so they're vocal about it, and they are maybe 5 times more vocal when they have a bad experience. Okay, with you as a product, as a service. So they are your marketing representative. Without wanting to employ them as a marketing representative, you are creating an army of marketing representatives who are your customers. So if they are on your side, there are full chances that they are going to become a positive creator of influence for you and create a market for you by just talking about you and the service and the experience, and therefore becoming your marketing representatives. Okay, and they are salespeople. How are they salespeople? Again, very simply, one step further. If somebody asks me which is the best, laptop to buy, eyes closed, I'll say let's buy a MacBook. I'll say so. I will be so strong in advocacy that there are full chances that the person who takes my advice might end up buying a MacBook. Okay, so they are also your salespeople by being strong advocates and by also giving referrals as and when they want. Without you asking them for referrals, they're going ahead and doing the referrals for you just because you are creating value for them as an organization and maybe as individuals also. And lastly, but not the least, they are your brand ambassadors. Okay, so the distinction I want to make as a brand ambassador, they are as a brand ambassador, the person is also being an advocate and talking about your organization, his or her experience, and the product or service which they have taken and they're extremely happy with. But in addition to that, they are happy to talk about your brand in other terminology. For just to give an example, so if it's a hypothetical example. So if I love PNG very much, I can say I really love PNG because they are doing a lot of work with the girl child in the interiors of say Maharashtra or Rajasthan and so on and so forth. So then you're not only a person who is advocating that brand, you are talking good about it, you're also in a sense becoming a brand ambassador by sharing some of the good things that the brand is doing and reinforcing that brand. So you have customers who are also your brand ambassadors. So it's very, very critical that you keep creating value because the customer has multiple roles. He or she is unwittingly, not knowingly, but unwittingly playing all these roles for you. So you have got a set of people, the larger the customer base, as an investor, marketing representative, salespeople, and brand ambassadors. Okay, so that's how all these roles are being performed by your customers. Okay. So create value for whom? Okay. So typically, when we are, you know, being customer centric, so logically, which are whom do they create value for? A quick question. So, what is the benefit of creating value? So it benefits whom? Whom does it benefit when the value gets created? And being customer centric, whom does it benefit? Business, of course, absolutely. Two people have said business. Yes, of course, it benefits the business. Yes. And the employees, very good. Excellent. Excellent. Innovation. Stakeholders, all the stakeholders, of course, even future customers. Interesting, even future customers, yes. The economy, that's a large one. Yeah, so for creating value, organizing doing well, so of course, maybe the economy. And it's a great investment for the future, lovely. And the community we serve. Okay, that's also interesting, community, yes. So let me just share, straight away when you're creating value, what are you doing? You're also creating value for the customer. How is it helping? It's also helping the customer. How? It's creating a better outcome, better product, better service for the customer. Okay. There's a reliability for the customer, reduced risk of the customer going out of your fold and going to somebody else, because you're continuously and continually creating value, and higher ROI for the customer himself, because if a customer is not happy with you, he or she has to do more of search and go to a different provider or different organization, and they don't, they probably end up paying more. So if they continue to be with you because you're creating value, it's a higher ROI for the customer himself. And for the organization, there are multiple benefits, lots of benefits. Okay, in addition to growth, profitability, and credibility, acquisition and retaining talent, also customer loyalty and higher profitability. Okay, all these things benefit. So I want to pause for a second and share with you that despite the fact that umpteen number of studies have been done by the best of institutions, right from Harvard, Stanford, and everybody, and other large academic institutions. They have done these studies, and it's proven in the last 20-25 years that retaining an existing customer is almost 1/7 the cost. Or to put it differently, to acquire a new customer, it takes 7 times the amount of cost what it takes to retain a customer. Very clearly, okay? Now, despite that, you will find that organizations spend disproportionate time in customer acquisition and disproportionate cost in customer acquisition. So they are both spending time and money on customer acquisition, and at the expense of existing customers. So somewhere companies are not spending enough time, despite the fact that this is a kind of a contrarian or a very opposite to what the studies say. They're still doing it consistently. In some of your organization you're working with, you might find that happening. Okay, existing customers get the short end of the stick, and the new customers get a lot of benefit. Just to tell you one quick thing is, I'm a customer of housing loan of Axis Bank. But when they are pushing for new customers for housing loan, they give them the most attractive benefits and attractive rates. But my rate is still the old one till I go back to them and tell them that, look, why is my rate so high when the other new customer is taking it so low? Then they will slowly come back and do it. Otherwise, they'll not do automatically. So what are they making me feel? They're making me feel that you, as an existing customer who's paying your installments regularly, you don't really matter. They're not reaching out to me. Okay, I don't want to go into the reasons why they're doing it, but they're still doing it. So they're not happy. So tomorrow, if anybody comes to me and says, let's go to Axis Bank or which place you would recommend for taking housing loan, I would say anybody but Axis Bank. Okay, so that's my my response, and they have not created value for me. And lastly, some of you said it, I'm happy about that, that it's not only organization and customer benefit, you know, by creating value. When the organization creates value, it is you as an individual benefit. Okay, you as an individual, and somebody said employees, absolutely right. You as an individual employee within the organization benefit, because as the organization does well, it creates better and more opportunities for you as an individual employee to work on more exposure to technology, geography, because the organization is growing. They would want to give opportunities to existing people. And if an organization is doing well, obviously there's a higher job security. There is satisfaction because you're able to fulfill customer expectations, and they give good scores to you. They give, they're happy with the organization. And because I talked about profitability of the organization goes high, obviously you get more salary and benefits. So it's a win-win situation of creating value for the customer and being customer centric finally. Okay. So now let's go to the next, value creation. So there is, customer value is actually a range of value types. Okay, let me just share with you some of the value types. It's very interesting. Even today, there are companies which are and I'll pause for maybe 30-40 seconds for you to take in the graph first. There is on the continuum, from a centricity perspective, there are three broad kinds of companies. There is transactional, there is co-creation, there's value seeking. Okay, when we are saying value seeking customer, from that perspective, let me just share with you. So you can see very clearly on a continuum between customer and company. If you look at that, y-axis. So the ones you have to take a look, where is your company positioned or focused. Okay, so transactional is where basically the company says, I have a value proposition, meaning the company has a value proposition for the customer. Okay, now what is it? The way I've said the term words, it's also I as a company have a value proposition for the customer. Although you know the need of the customer, but you are making the value proposition you think is of value to the customer, and at the same time your internal focus is that it should be valuable to me. So you're giving value. You're not seeking what exactly they need, but what you think they believe and you think they want is transactional. So you add that value to the product. You believe that's what they need, and they add value. So it's adding value to the product or service, without going into detail into what the customer really needs. Okay, so it is predominantly inward and customer centric focus. Okay, let me tell you, let me give you a quick example. The BSNL and the MTNLs of this world would be more of value giving. They felt that this is what the customer needs. We are giving the cheapest, and we are giving telecom at a very, very inexpensive rate. So they should stay with us. So they were giving value as per what they thought. But the customer wanted much more. Okay. So why did the Airtels and the Vodafones and the Geos of this world win over customers who could have been with a BSNL or an MTNL? Because they were able to tap into the need and expectations and the changing need and expectations of the customers and give them value. So the value they were seeking, and I'm talking about the end part, value seeking. So when whatever the customer was seeking value from their provider, they were able to provide that value. Whereas the MTNL, BSNL remained at the transactional value giving stage and therefore lost out on the customer gain. So much so that today, after 18 or 20 years of the telecom revolution, or what you call the mobile revolution, today MTNL, BSNL, which had the huge advantage of having a network and all that, they are nowhere. They're loss making because they didn't move up the value chain. Okay. And the middle part is value giving and taking, a little bit of collaborative. You take what is important to the organization, what is important to the customer, and you come to the middle path and take some, do some kind of a compromise and in a collaborative way and give value to both the organization and the customer. Okay, it's a negotiated one. It's a bit of outward focused and bit of inward focus, about a 50-50. So looking outward, looking at the customer need, little better than a transactional, and inward focus by clearly defining what the organization needs are and what value can be created for the organization also. So that's a bit above the transaction. Lastly, and currently in today's world, if you want to not only survive, you want to survive and you want to thrive, then you have to be open to the value seeking of the customers. What is the value they are seeking? You have to be constantly be aware of what value the customer is seeking. So this is how the value is created. So there are three types of value created. I just mentioned to you. Transactional value, which is a company-centric value, where primary I'm thinking about the organization and what value, and then I kind of very in a very what should I say, in a very avuncular fashion, I talk about customer need, but I'm not really creating value. Just simply talk that I think this product will fulfill customer value, will fulfill customer need. But I'm still focused on myself. Co-creation of value is a balanced approach where you take customer and lastly, and what is required today and what we're talking about, customer-centric approach, that is the value-seeking approach from a customer point of view and a value creation approach from a company perspective, from an organization perspective. Okay, so I'm stopping because this is more of a concept which I want to share with you. If there are any questions, you can ask me here. I'll wait for 30 seconds if you have a question. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, so ultimately, what is customer centricity? Why it is important? Two areas we've covered. We've seen how it helps the customer, the company, you as an individual also. Now let's go into the formula. Okay, how to deliver customer. Ultimately, you have to deliver. Okay, you have to deliver customer centricity. We can't be talking about customer centricity. We can't be discussing. This is not an academic discussion at all. Okay, so we are saying how. Let's go to the how part. Okay, so yes, so the basic philosophy, of serving customers, right? So we start with what is the organization philosophy? Is the organization philosophy that they want to serve customers, or is it a philosophy where they say, oh no, it's not customer, it's the products which are important. Which are the products which I want to sell to? Okay, which I believe are the right products for the company, and I also believe is right for the customer. So what is the philosophy? So is it product based or is it looking at the customer? Okay, now going on to the second point, business orientation. What is the business orientation of the customer? I mean, what's the organization? Okay, so is it looking at the benefits only to the organization, or is it relationship orientation or oriented toward the customer? Okay, in today's world, every interaction of an organization either builds a relationship with the customer or reduces or breaks the relationship. Okay, so every touch point is how does the business look at it? Is it relationship oriented or is it just transaction oriented? Okay, let's finish this transaction, done. Customer calls me, their queries answered, over. How do you look at it? Okay, so product positioning. How is the product really positioned? So is highlighting products benefits in terms of meeting individual customer needs, or is it just that my product is so good it has so many benefits and you stop there? So product positioning, is it matching the customer needs or it is just stated? So we have a fantastic vehicle, a fantastic car that is so good and it has such a great mileage and so on and so forth, but it is very low to the ground. It has hardly any ground clearance. So it will not meet customer needs in India. It may have the best mileage. It might give 25-30 kilometers to a liter. No other car is giving. but it is so low that after every couple of kilometers, it touches the road because our roads are not so great. So I'm just giving a quick and a quick example of how product positioning is not about just how good our product is, how many features it has. It is about meeting customer needs. Fourth, so what is the org structure? Is the organization structure product based? So you talk about products, you talk about function based, product based kind of organization structure, which is focused more inward, as we talked about, or is it customer segment based? Are they customer relationship managers, or are they product relationship managers who are focused only on their narrow product areas or narrow products, product lines, or are they customer relationship or customer segment based managers? Okay, so this will be the differentiator between how you deliver customer centricity and how you create value. What are performance metrics? Performance metrics in terms of just scores of customers, or are we talking about what all can we sell to the customer? Or are we talking about share of wallet? Are we talking about the market share, or within each customer, what is the share of wallet for our products the customer has? How many products which are there with us he's buying from somewhere else? So how can I increase the share of wallet of the customer? Okay, how can I create lifetime customer value? Okay, so these are some of the performance metrics which should be there for a customer centric organization. And lastly, which I just quickly mentioned earlier also, so typically a selling approach is that I've got a beautiful product as a company. Okay, how can I sell to maximum number of people? That is the sales approach of a inward looking organization. For an outward looking organization, how many products can we sell to this customer, as to what are the needs of the customers which I can fulfill as an organization? So that is the approach. So these are the ways, okay, right from a structure, the basic philosophy, what the organization has, the business orientation, okay, and what is the selling approach the organization has. These are some of the ways. This is not a complete list, but these are some of the large ways in which an organization can look at being customer centric. So how you become customer centric, these are the 4 or 6 ways in which we can look at. And there's one more thing, and a quick response again from you I require. The key to customer centricity is, so there's a blank space, and that's what I'm going to fill up if you give me the right answer. The key to customer centricity is dash, and it is a valuable asset for individuals and organizations to help them deliver customer centricity. What is that valuable asset? Which is critical for the organization to deliver customer centricity? What is that valuable asset? What is it that they require to deliver customer centricity? People. Okay, good. Yes, of course you require people. Fair. You do. Mindset. Yes. That's important. It will come in the next slide. Yes. But I'm looking for something very little more basic. Customer centricity is an outcome of what all you do. So customer satisfaction, what you mentioned, is an outcome of what you do. Customer needs, okay, yeah, to some extent, a little more basic. We are coming to a little more basic. You all are kind of going around that. Some more. What is the key to customer centricity? Okay, let me go. So when there's empathy and appreciation, yes. Empathy, innovation, yes, of course. All these are there. Some offer, so that's very tactical. You're right, but yeah, it is there. Some offer to the customer, offers you have. These are to lure and get customers. Value for money, yes, they are looking for. So let me just share with you. Here it comes. 1 second. Customer knowledge. Okay. Before you said a lot of things: empathy, appreciation, needs, innovation, value for money. All these are small steps and tactics which you require to either get a customer in, or retain a customer, or make him feel good, right? But all that what you've said, okay, product addressing more than the need. I just read that. Yeah, that of course. But all that, the moment you say the product is addressing more than the need of the customer, how will you know more than the need? The way you will come to know what is the need is only through the most important part is customer knowledge. How well do you know your customer? Okay, what all do you know about your customer? What are the data points you've captured about the customer? Okay, you just have a name and you just have some small facts of how much he spent with you and how many times he's come to you. Okay, we can broadly classify customer knowledge into two parts: the hard and the soft. The hard part is more on how much they've spent, how many times they've spent, what is their average spend, what are the products they kind of take from us. Okay, if we have a obviously I'm assuming we are talking about a CRM software, existing of a CRM software. So you have all these hard facts, numbers, and how many times, and those kind of metrics. There's a lot of soft part which comes out of analysis. Okay, so there, what are their preferences? Okay, what do they shop more in during for their wife, or what kind of clothes they are buying? Okay, so that may be a part of hard and soft, but what are the needs which they are fulfilling by this? Okay, what really motivates them? So have you seen them come again and again when they're offered? So VFM motivates them. One of you said VFM, value for money. So what? So you have to have both kinds. So one is hard facts, and based on data points which you've captured, as many as you can capture about the customer, based on data points which you've captured, you can also do an analysis and find out the softer facts. So if both those things come together, then you can create more value for the customer. Okay, so customer knowledge and knowledge about the customer and data about the customer is key to deliver customer centricity. Okay, so let's go into, I'll show a beautiful video. It's one of my favorite videos on customer centricity. Okay, we were talking a lot about the organization, though I did mention that as an individual you can make a difference also, but we were mostly coming from the organization specific. Let me show you a quick video of what an individual can do to become customer centric. It has English subtitles. Mostly it's in Tamil, but it has English subtitles. Okay, so let me start.
ஒரு ஜாப்க்கு தான் போயிட்டு இருந்தேன் முதல்ல. திடீர்னு ஒரு நாள் எங்க அண்ணன் லீவ் போட்டாரு. அப்ப நான் எடுத்து ரன் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சேன். இன்கம் வர மாதிரி தெரிஞ்சது. ஸோ இந்த காசுக்காக நம்ம இன்னொருத்தவங்க போயிட்டு ரொம்ப நேரம் ஒரு 8 hours அவங்க கூட ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ற மாதிரியான இருக்கு. ஸோ செல்ஃப் எம்ப்ளாயா இருக்கிறது நிறைய சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷனான விஷயங்களை நான் ரியலைஸ் பண்ணேன். கஸ்டமர்ஸ் தான் கடவுள் அப்படின்ற ஒரு காரணத்தினால அவங்க ஒரு 10 minutes 20 minutes 30 minutes தான் என்னோட ஆட்டோல டிராவல் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஸோ இந்த டிராவல் டைமிங்ல அவங்களுக்கு என்ன மாதிரியான விஷயங்கள் கொடுக்கலாம் வித்தியாசமா அப்படின்னு தேடினேன். ஒரு 8 newspaper, 35 magazines, tablet, iPad, லேப்டாப், டிவி, கான்டெஸ்ட், டோக்கன், இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய விஷயங்கள் வண்டிக்குள்ள இருக்கு. கஸ்டமர்ஸ் எல்லாருக்குமே சேஞ்ச் ப்ராப்ளம் இருந்துச்சு. ஸோ அதனால ஸ்வைப்பிங் மிஷின் கொண்டு வரலாம் அப்படின்னு நினைச்சோம். ஸோ இதன் மூலியமா என்னோட ஒரு மணி கூட, சின்ன மணி கூட கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கு போகுது அப்படின்றதுல நான் ரொம்ப ப்ரௌடா ஃபீல் பண்றேன். மந்த்லி ஒரு 9,000 rupees என்னோட கஸ்டமர்ஸ்க்காக ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணிட்டு. ஸோ என்னோட இன்கம் இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகணும் அப்படின்றதுக்காக நான் இதெல்லாம் பண்ணேன். அவங்கள சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷன் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்ற ஒரு காரணத்தினால தான் பண்ணேன். இதன் மூலியமா என்னோட இன்கம் டபுள் ஆயிருக்கு. முன்னாடிலாம் கஸ்டமர்ஸ்க்காக நான் வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பேன். இப்போ கஸ்டமர்ஸ் எனக்காக வெயிட் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சேன். டெக்னாலஜி எவ்வளவுதான் வளர்ந்தாலும் ஹியூமன் எலிமெண்ட்டை யாராலையும் ஜெயிக்க முடியாது. அதனாலதான் என்னோட கஸ்டமர்ஸ் கிட்ட நான் ரொம்ப ஃப்ரெண்ட்லியா இருக்கேன். ஸோ அவங்க எவ்வளவு டென்ஷனோட என் ஆட்டோக்குள்ள ஏறி வந்தா கூட இறங்கும் போது ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா போகணும் அப்படின்றதுதான் என்னோட எதிர்பார்ப்பா இருக்கும். நான் டெல்லியில பேசுவேன்னு நல்லா கனவுல கூட நினைச்சது கிடையாது. ஹாய், I speak Hindi or English? I speak Hindi. I will try. Okay. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. ठीक है. Okay. भैया brother. धन्यवाद. Thank you. Hindi over. Okay.
ஏதாவது தெலுங்கு கஸ்டமர் இருந்தாங்கன்னா தெலுங்கு சாங் ப்ளே பண்ணுவேன். தன்யவாதாలు ஸோ இது எதனால பாத்தீங்கன்னா, நான் ஏதாவது ஆந்திரா, கேரளா, கர்நாடகா, டெல்லி போகும்போது அங்க ஏதாவது ஒரு சின்ன டீ ஷாப்ல தமிழ் சம்பவம்னா என்னோட ஃபீல் எப்படி இருக்கும்? ஸோ அந்த ஒரு ஃபீல் அந்த செகண்ட் அவங்களுக்கு கிரியேட் ஆகும் அப்படின்ற ஒரு காரணம்.
ட்ரெட்ல பேசுறது அப்படின்றது வந்து டெல்லியில பேசினேன். அதுக்கப்புறம் இங்க சத்தியமங்கலம் இந்த மாதிரி 2 டெக் டாக்ஸ் கொடுத்துருக்கேன். அதுக்கப்புறம் ஒரு சில கார்பரேட் கம்பெனிஸ்ல போய் ட்ரைனிங் கொடுத்துருக்கேன். ஸோ இதெல்லாம் என்னோட கஸ்டமர்ஸை திருப்திப்படுத்த வைக்கணும் அப்படின்ற ஒரே ஒரு ஃபோக்கஸ் தானே தவிர இதெல்லாம் வந்து நான் எதிர்பார்க்காத ஒரு விஷயங்கள். ஐ லவ் மை ஜாப். கஸ்டமர்ஸ் வந்து கடவுளுக்கு நிகரானவங்க. அவங்களை எப்படியெல்லாம் திருப்திகரமா வச்சுக்கணுன்ற ஒரே ஒரு விஷயத்த மட்டும்தான் நான் ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ணேன். இப்போ நான் ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கேன். இன்னும் நிறைய விஷயங்கள் பண்ணணும்னு ஆசைப்படுறேன்.
ஸோ கிளாக் வந்து எல்லாமே வந்து ஆஜராயிடும்.
Okay, so quickly, what struck you about this whole video? One or two things you just write down on your chat. What really hit you and you were amazed if you were. 1-2 things just write down on your chat. Genuine concern for customers, selfless effort, beautiful, absolutely lovely. Genuine, yeah, the genuineness was coming through fantastically. Yes, no lip service. It's all about building relationships. Absolutely, people were waiting to board the auto, waiting to board his auto, not somebody's, his auto. Yes. Think you're making introduction to others with genuine efforts, making a worthwhile experience. Of course. Customer first, profit later. Beautiful. You saw the way he invested the money, 9,000 rupees per month. Customer relationship is about investing time and money both. Putting customers' interest before self every time. Yes, beautiful. I think we discussed it every single time, putting customer first. And customer will make your business successful. He talked about his business increased multifold by investing and doing whatever he did. Yes, beautiful. Smart investment, yeah, he's smart, but he's smart from the heart. He's smart. He knows if he invests money, he'll get more customers, but he's also genuine. Yes, absolutely. Okay, yeah. So I talked about the hard and the soft to you all earlier. The hard part was the iPad, the tablet, the coupons, the TV, the newspapers, the magazines of the heart. He kept all those things to engage with his customers. Okay, but he also believed intrinsically and with his heart that my job is that if he or she or customer walks into my auto or sits in my auto, he should go away happy. That 20 minutes is the time I have to make that person remove all his stresses. Such a beautiful thought. Which of us thinks that if we are in direct customer, some of you may not be based on what you shared, but as and when you get a chance to talk to a customer, who thinks that, okay, this 10 minutes, the customer should go away feeling super happy and satisfied, whatever problem he had. Maybe we're able to fully solve it or maybe not, but he should go away that no, somebody is working on it. So yeah, so I think it's never fails to move me. It's a beautiful video about an individual who decides that he wants to create excellence and he wants to create value. Beautiful example of creating value. Okay, so as an individual, okay, now we'll focus on individual. As an individual, the first, somebody talked about mindset earlier. Absolutely true. Before you go about acquiring skills and behaviors and do all that stuff, the primary change which one has to bring to oneself is mindset. The day you can change the mindset, okay, then you can start working on the all the skills and behavior. If your mindset is not changed, skills and behavior is not going to help, because the mindset will overpower all the learning of skills and behavior. So therefore, a lot of people know that this is good for the customer. All of us on our call and otherwise, and some of your colleagues are extremely smart people, okay, knowledgeable people, but they know. Are they doing? So doing is more important than knowing. So have a mindset to do things, to help the customers, to be with the customers, to feel their pain. Okay, taking ownership. So having that mindset of being with the customer, taking ownership and doing things, taking the step of doing and not just thinking about it, and also thinking that when the company becomes customer centric, that day I'll become customer centric. It doesn't work that way. And lastly, having a continuous improvement mindset. Okay. Now, skills and behavior. Of course, you have to work on your skills and behavior. You have to become a positive influence for the customer by becoming his advisor, his confidant, and that person, the customer should be able to talk to you and tell you and be sure that you will you take care of his or her problems. And the foundation should be of mutual respect and understanding. Let me be very clear about it today. Maybe you must have seen that I'm talking about being very customer centric and being towards the customer, but you have to also maintain an equilibrium. If you give him value, he should value you as a human being also. So even it should be built on mutual respect. Okay, there should be nobody running roughshod over you. That's not what I expect as a person or as an employee. Okay, so if necessary, you have to gently but firmly tell a customer what is not possible and why it is not possible. You should have a logic to it. Okay, you don't have to go all out and just do each and everything for the customer, because then you're not creating value. You are just doing what the customer wants. And sometimes customer really doesn't know exactly what they want. They just keep asking and they try to get maximum and they want to exploit. So those are also some of the small things which you need to take care of once in a while. Not all of the customers are like that. Okay. And of course, you have to ask powerful questions, uncover the pain points, and what do they really want? You should be able to discover that. So you should ask probing questions. Okay. Those are the kind of skills and behavior which you need to develop. Okay. And let me go forward. And so a very interesting thing, just on a lighter side. So a person said from Kellogg's marketing, they said that we want promotional spoons. Okay, and they asked the agency, asked the vendor. So the vendor asked, what should I write? He says, just the Kellogg logo is which we want. So he was so focused on exactly what was said and verbatim. Just look at the spoon. It says just the Kellogg logo and the logo on the side. Okay. So this is more on the lighter side. You're doing exactly what the customer wants without understanding what he wants, right? So that's not what he wanted. He wanted the Kellogg logo. Just the Kellogg logo was just a point he made to define that he wants a logo. So this has actually happened. Okay. So now going to sustenance. Now you can't have behavior or mindset which is not continuing to sustain value creation for the customer. You have to look at the entire customer experience. Okay, all the touch points. You have to have metrics, and in the long run, it is important to have an organizational and a cultural foundation, which will happen when the leadership of the organization believes that customer centricity is critical to the organization for it to grow, thrive, and create value for the customers. Okay, going beyond the the usual metric. This is my last slide, so I'm kind of we've already on exactly 1 hour, so request you to stay maybe a couple of minutes with me, please. So this is a recommendation that how should an organization listen to a customer? What are the 3-4 things at what level they should listen to? So at an executive or leadership level, the focus can be on the overall recommendation scores. Okay, the NPS. What is the Net Promoter Score? What is for the organization? That is at a leadership level to give them a very, very broad indicator of where they are as an organization. But when you go to the next level, one should then go into more details into the customer journey. At what are the touch points? At what point the customer is happy and what point he's not happy. Okay, look at all those scores individually at all touch points. Okay, and then also look at it as a complete journey. Now going to the department level, okay? At the department level, then you should focus on the department-specific customer touch point, okay? There will be 7 touch points, 7 different departments, or 5 different departments, and 2 touch points and 1 touch points. But in your department, when you go to department level, look at your customer touch point and analyze it completely, where you're going wrong and where you can improve, okay? So there are typical customer experience performance indicators like recommendation scores, acceptable, unacceptable customer incidents, okay? What should not be happening, right from, if you're talking about, delivery of wrong product, product not reaching despite promise of 7 days, not reaching in 1 month. So these are unacceptable, or the product being faulty, incorrect, old, any of those are unacceptable customer incidents. And then you look at journey satisfaction scores, the entire journey satisfaction scores. What is interesting is when you take individual touch points, you might get good scores on all of the individual touch points. Sometimes the total journey score can not be a sum total of all the individual touch points. It can happen that journey satisfaction score might be much lesser. Then you have to go back and see at what touch point really the customer was dissatisfied, although he's given you good scores. So you go deeper, at deeper level. And then one should continue to look at the voice of customer, either through specific surveys which you do to get the voice of customer, or you should keep an eye on at various places where the customer speaks up, which is the social media or the website, if customer is saying, or some of the other mouth shut and these places where the customer is speaking. So collate all those stuff, okay? And the operational performance indicators. So typically, like a customer calls up, so their waiting time, their throughput time till they're put to the right person, number of errors made in serving the customer. These are those internal and operational indicators within the organization which impact the customer experience indicators. Okay, so all these things should be taken together. If you take them standalone, you will not be able to create, be able to rectify problems or reach the issue or the bottom of the issue. But if you take them together, then you will be able to really remove roadblocks in creating customer value and being customer centric. Okay, so I approached the end of my my presentation. Thank you for staying with me for at least 4 minutes. Any best practice you can share on the chat? Any best practice that you all are doing, you can share. Just 1 or 2 minutes more. Okay, you are saying thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And NPS scores. Okay, NPS scores people take as a best practice. Okay. One last minute before we close. CSAT, of course, very, very popular, used very often. So empowerment provided to L&D, okay. Empower the L&D to take the right decision for, training customer-centric people or on customer-centric possible. Employee SAT scores with regard to HR, employee SAT scores. We more on customer centricity, employee SAT scores will indirectly, impact customer centricity, because if employee SAT scores are low, chances customer centricity will get impacted because people who interact with customer or are manning customer touch points may not behave the way they were with their expected view. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for being such a participative set of people. Thank you for coming on time. And I just took 5 minutes, and it was wonderful. I enjoyed the session, and I'm glad to see your comment that you all also enjoyed the session. Look forward to connecting with you all whenever it happens. So, and if you have any questions, you have got our ID. Please write into us if you need some more information. You want some clarification also. We are happy to do that. I'll be more than happy to provide. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day. And be safe. As they say today, the word safe is very important. So I hope everybody's fine and be safe. Thank you so much. God bless you.